Hi, welcome to Astrology Deathmatch. I'm Alex Harper, your host. This is a game show where two astrologers go head-to-head in competition to answer challenging questions about 11 different charts. Two astrologers will enter the ring. Only one will be declared victorious. Joining me as my co-host and ring announcer is Alberto.
Hey everybody, we've got an exciting showdown for you tonight. In one corner, we've got Stella Astrology. They're going to be taking on Maury, Alchemic Mind, in this celestial duel.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like our ring announcer is having a little bit of technical difficulty, so I'm going to have to announce our contestants this evening. In this corner over here, we have at Stellar Astrology. They are spectacular. They're spellbinding. They're coming in like a shooting star, and they're going to blow this ring out of the water. Who is brave enough to take them on? None other than Alchemic Mind with his grimoires and his spells. Will he cast a spell on Stellar Astrology?
Hey Stella, I hope you're familiar with the writing spell because you're about to get whooped.
Oh yeah, Maury? Well, you better watch it because I'm gonna knock you out of set.
The first question. Here are two charts. One person is an escort and has done erotic dancing. The other is a massage therapist. Which one is which? We have the charts here in whole sign for the folks at home. If you want to pause the video, take a look at this. There will also be links to all of the charts posted below this video. Here are the charts in whole sign, and here are the charts in Placidus. The contestants have agreed that these are the house systems that are going to be used.
All right, contestants, get your ephemerides out. You've got 5 minutes to come up with an answer. All right, Stella buzzed in first. Let's hear their answer.
I delineated that chart A is the escort, chart B is the massage therapist.
And what brought you to that conclusion, Stella?
I found that the second house containing the moon, as well as the only triplicity support for the second house being Jupiter in the fifth house in Scorpio. No other triplicity rulers of the second house are able to witness the second house. In addition to that, Venus is the 10th, the 10th place from Fortune, which is ruled by Mercury, has only triplicity support from Venus, who is on the midheaven.
Great. That's a great answer. What about you, Maury? What was your answer for this question?
I also chose chart A, so I hope we're both right. But my reasoning is L6 Jupiter in the fifth house, trine combust Venus, conjunct MC. It gave like making money through pleasures and affairs. Ninth is also fifth from Fortune and ruled by Jupiter and the term of Mercury. So selling oneself stands out, which is also emphasized through the L1 in the second house, as Stella mentioned. And they both come close, but L10 being Aqua Mars in the eighth is like the cherry on top between both charts. So I went with chart A.
No, you are both correct. Right? The correct answer is that chart A is the escort and chart B is the massage therapist. So both of you guys receive a point. Here we go on to the next question. All right. Question number 2. Okay, this is a question that has lots of charts, right? There's 4 charts here. There's 4 people, and 3 of them are attorneys. 1 person is a plumber. The object of the question is to choose the plumber, right? So here are the charts in whole sign. Here are the charts in Placidus. Again, remember, all these are posted in a link below the video.
Since I hope you're ready, your 5 minutes starts right now. All right, it looks like Maury has buzzed in first. Let's hear their answer.
So for number 2, I chose C as the plumber. And I honestly didn't write as much because there's so many charts. So my conclusion was it reads a handyman, whereas the others give more prominence to like institutional settings, giving Jupiter's placement and emphasis in the ninth house. But yeah, that was my answer.
That was a great answer, Maury. I was actually between chart between chart C and chart D, which is my final answer. Chart D is not a lawyer. The reason I said this is because there is a lack of emphasis and strength from 9th and 10th house topics and how they relate to career. Chart C is a very, very good choice though, because I was between those two.
Okay, so actually the correct answer is that chart C is the plumber.
Ooh.
Okay, so we've got, well, Alberto, what's the score going on right now?
I think we have a tie on our hands. Do we have a tie? Or no, wait a minute. The first one was a tie. So this is Maury's inching forward. No, how would you?
Well, it's 2-1. Our scorekeeper is apparently not good at counting, ladies and gentlemen. It's a travesty. So here we go. Let's take a look at these because these are actually really interesting charts, I think. Let's go back here. Here, so also shout out to the people whose charts these are. You know who you are. So if we look here, like, because what Stella was saying is really on point because that's how I would go about delineating if someone was a lawyer, is I'd look at 8th and 9th house because 9th house obviously represents the law, right? And the 8th house represents other people's things or other people's affairs, right? Matters involving other people's problems, right? So they're always dealing with things generated by other people's disputes, right? So 8th and 9th house is where the emphasis you want to look at as for an attorney. However, this one has a trick. So if we look here, chart A, we've got the 8th and 9th house here. I mean, look, we've got domiciled Mercury, right, in the 9th house. We got 8th house Sun, right? Mercury is also trine the ascendant. This is, I think we can say by this standard that this is a lawyer, right? Then we've got chart B. Now, chart B has 8th and 9th house ruled by the moon and Mercury. So what are they doing in the chart? The moon is culminating here, right, on the midheaven. And we also have Mercury down here in the 2nd house in Jupiter's sign, right, having a mutual reception with Jupiter in the 11th house. You've got Mars down here as well, giving like, kind of feisty side to Mercury, right? So this one looks like a lawyer too, right? Then we go here for chart C. Chart C, 8th and 9th house, right? Okay, well, both the rulers of the 8th and 9th house are rising. So by our own previously established metric of judging the condition of the rulers of the houses and basing our decision off of that, then we would say that this is also testimony and support, right? Now chart D, so you'd think this was a lawyer too. Now chart D, their 8th and 9th house has Mercury and Venus, which are both in conjunct the IC and co-present with the ruler Saturn, right? So Mars is retrograde up here in the 9th house, right? you know, there's a lot of things that are said about Mars retrograde and Gemini, you know, but I think you could say that these guys are pretty good in an argument, right? You could definitely say that about them at least. So,
Alex,
yes,
can I add something to my answer?
yeah, well, yes, but sure, go ahead, go ahead. Well, we can't
Um,
see you if I take this off. Um,
it's okay, I could just talk for over the chart too. But for the chart C, part of my reasoning was because the L6 was combust. So I was thinking their job circumstances would probably be unstable or not as secure. So I feel like handyman would be one of those jobs that kind of like switches consistently between different settings and whatnot.
Can I
Um,
add to that?
mhm.
yeah, go ahead.
Chart C is also the only chart with Jupiter retreating from an angle. Jupiter as a natural signifier of law and justice. Retreating from an angle is not indicative of somebody who embodies that. And also chart D at a second look has Jupiter 10th from fortune in the 10th house relating to career. So yeah, that is definitely, yeah.
Let me go right back to sharing the screen because there was one final point I wanted to make. So the giveaway here that I would like to point out is that in all the other charts, right? If we think about it, right? Like lawyers, you know, relatively privileged in society, and like a lot of them, you know, probably, you know, it's a minority of lawyers that work their way up to become one. Usually you have to be born in relatively decent circumstances, right? So if we look here at these charts, we see that in all of them, Saturn is kind of weak, right? Here, Saturn has just started its solar phase, right? It's at just past a sextile. Here, Saturn is about to be conjuncted by the Sun at the end of its solar phase, right? So Saturn is waning here. Here, in chart D, Saturn's also waning in its solar phase, but in this chart C, Saturn just stationed. So a planet, Saturn stationing, right, and also having close contact to the ascendant is going to indicate a harder material life, right? Because Saturn is stronger, stationing direct. So the Saturn themes of restrictions are going to be more impactful in this chart. So I would choose, if given a question like this, I think the most reliable way to choose is based off of, you know, the strength of a malefics and to see which person's might have the harder life. That's what I wanted to add about this. You guys have any thoughts about that?
Yeah. I also noticed just now while you were going through that in every chart there are favorable aspects between the moon and Mercury, which is a must if you're going to go up and speak in front of people and argue somebody's case. You need to be able to do so well. Whereas in chart C, there is no connection between the moon and Mercury. They do not witness each other. So this person may not be the most eloquent or capable of speaking publicly, which is a must for an attorney.
Another good consideration. Okay, yes, this is a fun question. All right, so the question here are two people. One of them was a juvenile delinquent. The other one was a teenage overachiever. Which one is which? Here we have the charts in whole sign and in Placidus.
All right, guys, you've got 5 minutes to come up with the answer. Stella got to the buzzer first. Let's hear what they have to say.
I determined that chart A is the delinquent. My reasoning being that the first angular triad contains referring to the first portion of life, contains a retrograde Jupiter in Gemini with Saturn also retrograde in the 12th house. The moon ruled by Mars. Yes, angular, but still Mars that rules the ascendant. And then Leo, also pertaining to that first third of life, being ruled by an exiled sun. There's Mars in the 3rd house, grade school, disturbances in school. And then finally, as a night chart, chart A has the Fardar of Saturn during their youth, which inclines me to believe that this person was a delinquent. Not that everybody born at night is a delinquent. Let me just
Me
let
being an
me
Aries
say
moon night
that.
chart.
That sounds like talking smack.
Yeah, you know what? I take that back then. You are a delinquent.
And by a son of Mars, I'll take it.
All right. I think it's time to hear what Maury came up with.
All right. So the way I delineated was that I feel like a 4th house sun would be too sheltered. So I chose chart A. I also have a 4th house sun, so I had those placements. So I felt like I had a very overachieving experience, which kind of played into my answer. So there is some bias there, but I say someone with 4th house sun wouldn't really have time for delinquency. Plus moon in the 10th and approaching a full moon could emphasize someone's need to be bigger or more reputable. As for experiences, looking at Venus's aspect, although it's fallen, it doesn't highlight any difficulties for them to act out like on, in my opinion. And that's just coming from like a behavior background. Usually people that are more inclined towards delinquency have troubles relating with others or difficulties in that area. And I chose chart B as delinquent because Sun is in 10th with L10 in 8th house, and the oppositions from the 2nd house to all the planets in the 8th house was enough like cause for me. And what sells it again is that Venus squares as like enough probability for behavioral issues.
Okay, both really great answers and well supported. But the correct answer for this question is that chart A is the juvenile delinquent and chart B is the teenage overachiever. So, well, where does that leave us with the score, Alberto?
I'm sorry, I've lost track again. Could you tell me and I'll say it?
Oh my God, guys, what did we even have him on the show for? Are you serious? Okay, it's 2-2. It is 2-2. All right, it's all tied up. All right, here we go. Let's take a look. All right, this is the chart for question number 4. Okay, here's whole sign, and here's Placidus. The question that is before the contestants is to determine which one of these people is a dancer and which one is a musician. All right, Alberto, will you start our time, please?
All right, contestants. I know it's been a grueling journey so far, but you've got 5 minutes to come up with an answer. All right, it looks. Oh my God, Maury has buzzed in. Let's hear what their answer is.
So I chose chart A is the dancer because they have a 5th house moon ruled by Saturn in the 6th. And it could lead someone with performative comfort to seek employment by means of like physical movement or something of the sort. And moon is sextile Jupiter, who is also L6, and in the term of Venus and dancing just stands out more. 2nd house is also 5th from fortune. So I could see this person having gains by like the means of limelight. And I chose chart B as musician because 5th house Saturn is squared by its lord. Venus in the H could make it hard for someone to express himself in a way that's I don't know, more professionally in dance. So 8th house Leo Venus and Mercury could also grant inherited artistic talent, which is what I was looking for because I'm like, where are the like artistic traits in this chart? and is second from fortune. So using those skills to making means by contracts or labels, given it's in the 7th house, or working with others on top of a 12th house moon. It just reads more as withdrawn, if they were a musician. So by process of elimination, I chose B as musician.
Sound delineation. I'm going to have to disagree though. I believe that chart A is the musician and chart B is the dancer. With chart A, we have this Mercury in Libra. Obviously, both of these people have creative Venusian careers in some way. But there's this Mercury in Libra, which is creativity and artistic expression, but through tools. There's a more distinct mercurial element to that. We've got this airy intellectualism with the creative endeavors and the moon in Aquarius in the 5th applying to trine that Mercury. Chart B, on the other hand, as a dancer, I didn't take very many notes here, but you know, the Jupiter, the moon is applying to trine Jupiter, which is in the 10th place from fortune. And the sun is conjoined to the lot of fortune. Both of those things are very much about like having your body involved in performance. There's a little bit more ambition and kind of boldness that has to come from being a dancer, whereas as a musician, it's a bit dry and intellectual, as I mentioned. So chart A is the musician.
Okay, guys, so those are both really good answers. And after listening to Stella's answer, it honestly makes me feel a little bit guilty for withholding some crucial information because chart A is a dancer and also a choreographer. So the Mercury power that she's picking up on is attributable to the fact that he is also choreographing these dances, not just moving his body. Here, let's take a look though, because I think that chart A has an easier way to tell. All right, so if I was given this question, I would try and see, all right, which chart is focused more on the body, right? You know, how many indications of prominent body do we have? And what are the traditional significations of the body? But the moon and the ascendant, right? So we're going to look at the moon and the ascendant. So first, we've got moon rules Cancer, which contains the midheaven and the lot of fortune, right? The moon is in the 5th house, creative pursuits. The moon is also trining the ascendant. Mars is co-present with Jupiter here, right? Mars-Jupiter contacts, you know, you tend to increase physicality. Now, in chart B, we've got an opposition between Mars and Jupiter, which is not going to give you the same blending that the conjunction will, right? Also here, the moon cannot see fortune, cannot see the sun, cannot see the ascendant, right? The moon here can see the sun. It's just past a square, right? So we've got the significations of the body are making a lot more contacts with each other in this chart versus this one. So this one here is, you know, it's got Venus and Mercury in the same sign and conjunct the North Node. And Venus music is a combination of mercurial and Venusian qualities, right? It's not just one or the other, it's both. So Mercury and Venus in the same sign, it seems more like music to me. All right. All right, it is tough. And since I have to keep the score as well, I will say that Maury is inching ahead with 3 points, but it's not over yet. Okay, it's the final question. Will stellar astrology pull back into this and make this round go to sudden death. Here we go. The question is, this is the same chart of one person, right? Person is represented here in whole signs, here in Placidus. This person ended up passing away, sadly, at the end of their life from cancer. The question is, what part of the body was affected by the cancer?
All right, contestants, you've got 5 minutes to come up with an answer. Oh, it looks like Stella Astrology has buzzed in.
I determined that this cancer is somehow related to the digestive tract, particularly the upper part of the abdomen, maybe some kind of organ tucked within the ribs, near the lungs. There is Virgo in the 8th house, and it receives a square from both malefics. And the moon is besieged by those two malefics.
And what was your answer?
I said due to L6 being the moon in the 8th and squaring both malefics, I'd resort to it as the indicator. The L6 from Fortune is also conjunct the moon, so I'm inclined to say this is dealing with feminine parts. I'm not well-rounded in medical astrology, so not sure if the sign, planet, or house would be the most representative, but I'm gonna go with the planet since it emphasizes movement. My answer is the breast because the moon, and long-term with the inclination of spreading to the lungs because Venus is there with it.
Well, actually, the cancer in this person is esophageal, which the esophagus is an organ that connects the throat to the digestive tract and is part of the digestive tract. So it's going to be in the upper chest area right here. So it looks like this point goes to Stella. It is now 3-3, so we're going to have to go to sudden death. But first, I will just take one moment to say something here. Something that you can do with charts, especially once the person is old enough, because once a person gets to a certain age, people disagree about what age this is, then the sun chart becomes a much more prominent of a consideration, and you want to turn the chart to put the sun on the ascendant, right? If we do that, that makes Gemini the 8th with both malefics, right? And Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Gemini is associated with, the arms, the throat, right? The voice, the bronchial tubes, right? This general area, right, of the body, upper abdomen is associated with Mercury, right? And Mercury rules both of these malefics that are 8th from the sun. Okay, so now we have to go to sudden death, right? So we have a rapid fire selection of charts that first person to lose is going to lose everything. Okay, so the rapid fire round. The question is, here's some charts. Is this person heterosexual or not? Are they LGBT of some kind? So all of the lovely delineations from all of these texts like Firmicus and Dorotheus about what makes perverts, that is all fair game. As soon as you know, say it.
They're gay.
Yeah, not straight, not straight. L7, exalted in the 11th house. They like people of many walks.
Okay. Yeah, this person is actually male to female transgender. So it is correct. They are not straight, they're not heteronormative. Moving on. Is this person straight or not?
Gay. This person's gay. Saturn
Yeah.
in the 7th house, sextile Venus, conjunct to Mercury. This person is a homosexual.
They're probably a twunk too with the sun, Aries, and next to the MC. So
That's correct. This person is gay. Lesbian, in fact.
Can I have her number?
Hey, I'm pretty sure that she's probably watching this stream right now because this is someone from Twitter. So shout out to you. All right, I'm
Is
back.
it Bad Pasture by any chance?
No, it's not. It's not.
Their name
I'll tell
popped
you
up in my
later.
head.
Stop trying to guess. All right. All right, here we go. Chart 3. Is this person gay or not?
Is this a man?
This is.
Straight.
Gay. I'm
Maury
gonna
is
say gay.
correct.
Saturn,
Well,
Venus.
yeah, the Saturn Venus square here. This person is bisexual, right? So yes, they definitely do not qualify as straight. So looks like just there at the end, despite a valiant effort on their part, stellar astrology has stumbled.
No.
Just a little.
Whatever shall I do? My reputation is ruined.
Is with great
Stella,
pleasure.
do you
I
want
announce the winner.
vengeance? Do you want another chance at this? Do you think you could pull it together to get Maury again?
Maybe, but it seems that the Scorpio Mars takes the cake today.
The belt is heavy.
It is indeed.
It is with a great pleasure I announce the winner of the first ever astrology death match, Maury at Alchemic Mind.
Congratulations, Maury. You were a
Thank
great
you,
competitor.
Stella.
Yes.
You were also an amazing competitor. It was very moon to sun, sun to moon, and we
Mhm.
caught it live on camera.
Yes, indeed. This was very fun. I would love to do it again sometime.
So both you guys did amazing. I'm very impressed with both of you, and love talking to you guys. Think you guys are both great astrologers. In fact, everyone here is an astrologer, and we all give readings, I think, right? All of us do. So if you guys would like to say a little bit about yourselves and where people can find you, and if you have a website for booking for natal readings or anything like that, there you go. The floor is yours.
I'll go first. If you don't already follow me or know me from Twitter, I post a lot of random stuff on there and occasionally also astrology, though it's my astrology account. But if you want to get serious and get a reading with me, you can also do that by going to my website. It will be in my links. But if you don't know how to get there, it is alchemicmind.com. And wow, I just felt so professional right now. So yeah, check it out.
For me, I am at Stellar Astrology on Twitter. I also am a co-host of the Mercuranians podcast. If you're into traditional astrology, definitely check that out. And yeah, my website is under construction. So if you want a consult, shoot me a direct message. But yeah.
Hey everybody, I'm Alberto, and you can find me at translationoflight.org. I also run the Astro Museum on Twitter.
And I am Alex Harper. I'm on Twitter as @balefulrays. I do have a site that I'll post a link for to book if you're in person in the Indianapolis area, you want to come see me in person. Otherwise, if it's online, then just hit me up on Twitter, or you can send me an email. I'll put the email on the screen. It's at balefulrays@pm.me. Either way, to contact me is fine for a reading.